Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Come on, won't you say it loud? Ayo, we gon' turn this out. Tom Clark's Main Event. Drop kick now.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, kids. Tom Clark's Main Event, live here with you on this Friday. We were not here last Friday. We hope you missed us. Did you miss us? Don't lie. Don't lie to me. No one likes a liar. Don't be dishonest. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to adjust my my volume here. I thought I could hear myself okay, but turns out perhaps I can't. Hello. The dulcet tones of yours truly, Tom Clark, coming at you again, as we said before, live on a Friday. Do me a favor, kids. What am I going to ask for? Say it. Say it. Come on, you know you want to hear it. Smash the like button for me. Would you do that? Please and thank you. It'd mean loads to me. Let's get this thing kicked off in grand fashion. Whoever did that the first one, you're awesome. I'm waiting for number 2. Hit me. Hit me. Come on now. Don't make me beg. You know I'll do it. I don't care. I'm not too proud to beg. Or ain't too proud to beg. There's 3. Look at that. We're getting off in grand fashion. As everybody is starting to come in here today and fill up the room, I ask that you help me fill up the room, if you will. Do me a favor and share this feed on your Facebook page. Share it on your Twitter. Share it wherever you are on social media. That would mean a lot to me. It puts no money in my pocket, but it gets engagement up, and that's always a good thing. And anywhere I can share the show in and around the burg, so to speak, that's from something else. But I'm happy to do so, and I hope you guys will help me get the word out. I appreciate you, as always, doing those things and for sticking with me through thick and thin, as it were. Again, this is episode 349. We are one episode away from the big 350. How's about that, man? That's pretty good, yeah? What an accomplishment. I'm pretty proud of that, if I'm being honest with you. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the show as we go, and hopefully you guys are getting something out of it too, yeah? It's not just this gorgeous face and the black hoodie just doing its thing, right? I mean, it's got to be more than that. I'm giving you stuff. I'm giving you the latest. I'm giving you my analysis. I'm doing everything I can to give you the deets. They still say that, the kids, the 411. Does anyone say 411? Probably not. By the way, is information still a thing? Someone get their phone out, dial 411, and tell me what happens. I genuinely don't know. Who's going to take on that assignment for me? You guys, that'd be awesome if you do it. Again, as the room starts to fill up here, we are once again waiting on folks to come in. It's a Friday. We may or may not have a huge audience happening here today. If we don't, that's okay. And again, as people are starting to come in, file in here today, I would ask you, please smash the like button. And if you're so inclined, share the show on your social media. That would be awesome. And I would very much appreciate your time. And that'd be great. So thanks again. Let's say some hellos so we can kick this thing off in grand fashion. Robbie is the first one at the table. How you doing, my friend? Eric Jackson here with us today. Sugar Shane. Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate your good word, my friend. We're going to get to that just in a second. Brianne, crushing it as always. I'm doing good. Hey, I appreciate you, Brianne. See there, everyone be more like Brianne. Brianne Milligan. I'm going to call her Blackjack Milligan. Oh, my God. You just got a nickname, baby. Look out. Bam, you're welcome. I know it's not the most girly nickname you've ever had, I would imagine. I don't know. I don't know you. But I'm going to call you Blackjack Brianne Milligan. Will you like that okay? Is that all right? Blackjack Milligan? Oh, dude, come on. It's a pro wrestling thing. Tell me you know. Please tell me you know. If you tell me you're too young to know, I'll be very upset. I'll be very upset. Ray All Day's here. How you doing, my friend? JP in the house. Hey, man. Yeah, we survived, my friend. We survived for sure. We're very fortunate to have made it through virtually unscathed. Again, be patient with me. I'm going to go into that for just a moment here. But after I say some hellos or get done saying hellos, let's see. Ron, welcome to the show, my friend. Hey, man, I hope you and yours did as well. I know you're in, not in my area, but you're in the Carolinas. Yeah. So let me tell you By the way, JP, thank you for sharing, my friend. So let me tell you what happened on my end. If you didn't keep up with me on Facebook, and if you don't read me or follow me on Substack because you hate good writing, I was going to say great writing, but I don't stroke my own ego. Okay. I feel like I know what I'm doing, but I leave it up to other people to say if something's awesome or not. That's not for me to say. I feel like I'm competent. I'm a competent writer. Okay. But if you don't follow me on Substack, then maybe you don't know about the latest piece I did. And also, I put out a podcast yesterday. I do have 4 shows now, by the way, kids. The one you're listening to and watching now, and also, of course, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, Two Nations Under Ted Lasso podcast, coming your way in the morning at 10 a.m. Eastern with episode number 6 from season 3, Hey, and Tom Clark's Substack podcast. That's an audio-only show, and it's on the YouTube. It's also on boinkstudios.com, B-O-I-N-K, boinkstudios.com. You would think I've done this before. You think? It seems that way, doesn't it? So here's what happened last week. Chad Too Bad in the house. Good to see you, my friend. I'm still waiting on Brienne to tell me whether or not it's okay that I'm calling her Blackjack Mulligan. By the way, if Brienne is Googling that because she doesn't know who Blackjack Mulligan is, I'll be very upset. I'll be very upset. Don't upset me, Brienne. Come on now. Come on now. Got any Righteous Gemstones fans here, by the way? That could be the next podcast I tackle when Two Nations is over. We shall she. Okay. Well, let me tell you what happened in my neck of the woods last week. On a more serious note, Western North Carolina is in shambles at this point in time. I don't know where we stand with the city of Asheville, but I can tell you that for the city of Asheville, it's been underwater for it'll be a week, I guess, Friday and Saturday. It's bad, kids. It's really bad. And Chimney Rock, which is Asheville's about an hour and a half from me. And Chimney Rock is almost 2.5 hours from me. From what I understand, Chimney Rock has, from what I read, been wiped off the map. Now, I don't know how true that is. And I'm not saying it's not true. Get me. But I don't know. But here's what I'll tell you is that a lot of people out there are really struggling and suffering right now. No water, no electricity, no, I mean, nothing, no phone service, no internet, no nothing. I mean, it's the Stone Ages right now. And as of, I think it was Sunday, I believe, from what I was told that on Sunday, that the only way in or out of Asheville was by air. But I don't know. Again, that's all you guys are getting that information as I'm getting it. And I'm trying to stay on top of it. I do have friends in this area and in Asheville, and I've checked on those folks, and so far everybody seems to be okay. So I've had nothing bad reported, put it that way. Last time I checked, there were still about 1,000 people missing. It's a big deal. From what I understand, North Carolina got it worse than Florida did, if you can believe that. So Hurricane Helene has definitely taken its toll on this state of mine. And Look, I know times are tough for everybody. The economy is what the economy is. And if you're in no shape to help, if you're in no position to help financially, I'm not saying give till it hurts or anything like that. But there are local charities here in the state of North Carolina that you can absolutely give to. And by the way, if anyone watching right now that is in the Carolinas, if you know of a reputable charity that you trust, that has been vetted, that is the legit and the real deal, please feel free to drop a link in the chat and I'll put it up on the screen. Okay, let's do that. Ron, if you're still here and you know of a charity that's worthwhile, by all means, throw it in the chat. And look, kids, $5 is $5. $5 may not mean much to you. $5 could mean a soda for a kid. You know what I'm saying? Who maybe's thirsty right now. I know that sounds, whatever. But again, it's a big thing right now, folks. It's a real big thing. So keep your heads up out there, kids. And do me a favor, send some good vibes and positive energy, positive thoughts. Keep these folks in your heads, if you will. Again, send out good vibes. If you're a praying kind of person and you want to do that, by all means, do that. If there's any community or like any chat groups or anything on Facebook or any support groups where you want to go leave a message for support, do that. And again, if you can donate, please do that. I'm sure everyone affected by the hurricane will absolutely appreciate your time and your energy and your effort, myself included. So there you go. As in terms of what happened with me, because I told you I was going to get to it. In terms of what happened with me, we lost internet and we lost phone service, and I didn't get internet back until late Sunday night, and phone service was spotty at best, and still is across most of this town. There's still trees down everywhere, and again, here's what I'll tell you: a lot of people out there have it a lot worse than I do today. That's for sure. So I don't have anything to complain about, and if I did, I try not to complain about it anyway, because there's no point. You know what I mean? I'm just not one of those guys. Because again, I'm not sitting here waist deep in water. All right, so I've got nothing to be upset about. So yeah, listen, I put out a message on Facebook. I forget when it was, a few days ago, and I thanked everyone for reaching out. I've had a couple of folks that didn't, and it kind of sucks, but you know what? It's life. We all get busy. I totally understand, and I don't hold a grudge, so it's perfectly fine. But yeah, again, kids, I appreciate everyone checking. I appreciate, again, all the good vibes and positive energy, and any prayers. Again, if you want to send those up, that's perfectly fine. I do appreciate your time. And yeah, we were very fortunate in my house to have come through unscathed. So again, I'm very grateful for that. And let's see here. JP saying TNA canceled their show in the Carolinas last week and did a best of Bound for Glory. Yeah, I saw that. Announced that all proceeds from this week's tapings in Nashville are going to go to relief of the hurricane. Well done on TNA. Well done. And look, you have to imagine that the big companies will do something. And even if they don't promote it like out loud, you have to believe that there will be something done. You know, a lot of folks will, including corporations, even though it's a tax write-off for everybody, let's be honest. But a lot of private citizens and or corporations will donate, but they won't make it public. So don't be surprised if it comes out that AEW and WWE do that as well. I would not be surprised. So hey, I appreciate all the good word out there. Shane says that I-40 from North Carolina, Tennessee still closed. Yeah, I know that the last I heard a few days ago was that 77 South was closed, and it was for local traffic only. I'm like, man, if you live off an interstate exit, you're out of luck. But then it was like, well, it's open to local traffic only. So I don't know if that's been lifted or not. I have no idea. Maria, welcome to the show. She says, I live in Florida. I'm familiar too much with hurricanes and tropical storms. It really sucks. Oh, for sure. And you know, Maria, I'm sure you've heard this before. Well, just move. Like, you know, that's easy to say when your roots are in a state, your family's in a state. Maybe financially you can't move. Maybe it doesn't make sense to move. And again, maybe don't leave your family behind. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Is it advisable if you live in Tornado Alley? Sure. But again, if you've lived there, your grandparents live there, their parents live there, and you know what I mean? Pulling up stakes from everything you've ever known and loved, that's difficult. I've done it. It's tough. It's tough, right? So, yeah. Well, look, kids, we're already about a quarter of the way through here, and I don't want to take up any more time on this. But again, thanks for everybody. Thanks to everyone for sending out the good word. As we continue to get folks to come in, again, I appreciate your time here on this Friday and for hanging out with me. It means loads to me. And if you haven't smashed the like button, please do so. Let's go ahead and get this. Let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off, shall we? Let's go ahead and talk first of all about WWE Badd Blood. The pay-per-view is coming your way tomorrow. As of right now, this moment in time, we only have 5 matches. That could change tonight on SmackDown. We shall see. Okay. But here's what we've got so far. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. That's on the poster. And it's a Hell in a Cell match. Look out. Not even at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. How you like that? Nia Jax versus Bayley. Singles match for the WWE Women's Championship. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. No specialty, no stip on that match, it looks like. Liv Morgan with Dominic versus Rhea. Singles match for the Women's World Championship. Dominic will be suspended above the cage, or excuse me, above the ring in a short cage. That is some good old-fashioned, old-school pro wrestling nonsense right there. They did it with James J. Dillon. They did it with Jim Cornette, Bobby Heenan, I think, and any number of other old-school managers through the years. It's such a hokey, ridiculous prop and gimmick, but it's so much fun. You know what I mean? It's the idea of, you know, this guy keeps winning all the time thanks to that manager, so we're going to make it so that manager can't get involved. I'm like, what would stop that manager from hiring a bounty hunter in the dressing room? Nothing. Right? And then, of course, I think it was J.J. Dillon. I mean, you throw brass knuckles out of the cage or whatever. Come on, what are we doing? But again, I'm here for it. It's like going to a comic movie and being upset that there's special effects in it. It's a comic book story. You know what I mean? What did you sign up for it? Right? I mean, when you sign up for pro wrestling, you got to sign up for some old school stuff too. So I'm here for it. The shark cage above the ring, I'm here for that. What's going to be the match you guys are most looking forward to on this show? I'd like to hear from you. Guys, let me know here. Oh, I forgot, JP. Well said. Well done. Jimmy Hart was in a shark cage also. Yeah. Shark cage high above the ring. You got to always add the superfluous words here and there. Suspended 90 feet or whatever, high above the ring, right? It's like exaggerating the wrestler's height and weight because it's pro wrestling and that's what you do, right? It's the same thing. By the way, I looks like I'm having signal issues right now. Everybody be patient. If I'm digitizing, if I'm a little fuzzy, it may not just be because of the beard, okay? So be patient. I hesitate to take a sip on a screen that's being digitized right now because I'm afraid I'll like freeze in some weird spastic moment and people be like, what's wrong with this clown? So anyway, if you're having a hard time watching, here's what I'll tell you. We've had internet back since Sunday, but there have been moments that it's kind of been a little weak on the weak side. Yeah. Don't be surprised if something funky happens. I hope it don't. If it does, I'll jump back on as soon as I possibly can, but don't be surprised if something happens. So yeah. Oh, Maria. Oh, you're right. JJ Dillon, the shark cage, Sting versus Flair Clash Champions 1. Yeah, for sure. I think that's the one where he threw down. Maybe he didn't. I just remember Dillon throwing down Nux at one point. Sugar Sane says, I think Tiffany Stratton cashes in and wins the championship. Could be. I've heard that as well. We'll see what happens. Ray says, pumped for the women's title match. I'm with you. For sure. Let's see. So you're pumped for the. Yeah, there you go. You're there for the women's world championship, I'm guessing, not the WWE women's championship. Is that right, Ray? I don't put words in your mouth. Maria says Cody and Roman Reigns versus the Bloodline. Yeah. Did I leave off at that? Sorry, I did leave off. I got distracted with the cage above the ring. My bad. Cody and Roman, how could I ever forget? Versus the Bloodline of Solo and Jacob Fatu in a tag team match. And if you think that thing's going to go without a hitch, let me just tell you, you thought wrong. I didn't have a comeback for that. I suspect it will not. It will not go well. You know what I mean? I don't think, by the way, I'm not predicting the Bloodline will win. Or am I? Here's what I think. Punk goes over against McIntyre. Jax goes over on Bailey. Let's see. I think I'll say Priest over on Balor. Morgan over on Rhea. And I'll say Bloodline over Cody and Roman. Uh-oh. Did I say something unpopular? We'll see. JP says they always do Hell in the Cell matches in October. Oh, that's well done because of Halloween. There you go. Well done. Maria says Cody and Roman Reigns are the Mega Powers 2.0. You think they'll do that, the handshake, right? Where they're, right? Did you hear my bracelet shaking on the mic? You know how many pods I've went to edit and I'm doing the audio mixing and I can hear the shaking of the bracelets? And then sometimes I'm not going to do it right now, but sometimes I'll drop my wrist or my hand to the table and the bracelets pop the top of the desk. And I'm like, am I take that out or what? I don't know. Robbie says he's looking forward to tonight's dumpster match. Man. So here's what we'll get into the AEW bit later. I was going to talk a little bit about Rampage. We can get to that here in a bit. JP says a rumor has it Jimmy Uso is coming back at Bad Blood. I have heard that as well. We shall see. Rhea says the dumpster match is going to be excellent. Bring on the carnage, ladies. Man, there's another vote for the dumpster match. It says Bloodline cannot get a pin on the Mega Powers 2.0. You want to know what I think? I think that no one believes the Bloodline's going over, because I think next to, their top two guys in that company, no one would be favored to win. All the more reason to put them over. Look, either this new Bloodline thing, I say new, but you know what I mean. Either this new Bloodline thing with Solo at the head is going to be taken seriously and promoted seriously, or it's not. It has been thus far. But again, if it's me, and it's not, but if it's me, they win the match. I'm just saying. Sugar Shane says, what if there's a swerve in the match and Roman Reigns and the Bloodline turn on Cody? No. Nothing's impossible, Shane. Anything is possible, as you know. I do not believe Roman's turning full-blown heel right now. For sure. JP says they are going to use the Cody Reigns versus Bloodline to set up War Games at Survivor Series. Well, there you go. Ray says Bloodline gets the W. Damian Gregory. What's up, my friend? Says Raider Nation. Well, there you go. One of the truth, I'm a little embarrassed by this. I haven't kept up with any NFL. I'm usually a Vikings guy. I've not kept up with any NFL. I've watched more Premier League than I watched NFL. And I'm a Premier League guy. So I have been watching a lot of that, but no NFL. So, yeah. Do I think The Rock will make an appearance? I think anything's possible. Would I have The Rock make an appearance unannounced and not promoted? Crazier things have happened in that company, so I won't say it won't happen here. But, does anyone know what The Rock's up to these days? Is he in the middle of a project or whatever? Because if that's usually the answer. If he's busy, then he won't be around. I know that's a non-answer. A lot of that going around lately. But, and I don't mean it to be. JB says Raider Nation is getting stomped by the Broncos in Denver on Sunday. So, oh my God. Punches thrown in the chat. Damien's like, come at me, bro. People still say that anymore? I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it's not a very big card right now, kids, but, anything can be added tonight on SmackDown, and any stipulations could be added to the matches that already exist as well. We'll see what happens. I think the card will be fine. I think there's some good matches on there. But again, we'll see how it all plays out. Are you guys keeping up, by the way, with your pro wrestling? Are you up to date on AEW this week? Are you up to date on WWE this week? Has anyone missed anything of that nature? I'm just curious. I know, again, if you're in a certain part of the country where I'm at, if you haven't had any power, you haven't been able to watch anything. So I spent last weekend watching DVDs, old school, baby. Actually, really old school is VHS. And I don't think I have a VHS player anymore. And years ago, I gave away all of my VHS tapes to my stepdad because my mom and stepdad refused to be high tech. They have a DVD player. The only reason they got one because I bought it for them. Period. They still don't have internet. Not because it's out, just because they don't have it. They don't have it. Well, kids, we're almost at the bottom of the hour. Can you believe I've been running my mouth for that long? Yes, you can. Before we go any farther with the second half of the show, do me a favor and check this out.
Boink Studios is the home of Tom Clark's Main Event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. Visit the site today for links to every podcast platform, social media, special announcements, and a lot more. Check out the site and bookmark today, boinkstudios.com.
Welcome back. That song slaps, don't it? Don't lie. I was going to take a sip when I ran it, and then suddenly I forgot to run it. I forgot to take a sip, so I had to sneak it in at the last possible second. I had to wet the whistle, as they say. So I did. Wet the whistle, as they say. Josh has shown up. What's up, my friend? Hey, no worries at all. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, Jeffrey, we're going to get to that right now. Jeffrey gave us a segue Let's talk about the new AEW TV deal. Unless you've been living under a rock, and maybe you are, I don't judge. Live your caveman lifestyle. Who am I to say? The AEW WBD media rights deal, I'll get it. Here's what I can tell you. This thing is big. It's pushing, I think the number is around 185 million, I believe, per year. I mean, it's a big number, kids. And this is a lot to do. This is everything to do with the success of that company. I said not last week, but the week before, I've been saying for a while that Warner Brothers, that Time Warner, all that stuff, that the networks, in other words, seem to be pretty happy with AEW. They seem to be happy with the company, and there seems to always be good things coming out about it. And this is proof positive that that's right. Proof positive that's right. Let's get into the details. The deal was announced on Wednesday. It's a 3-year agreement with an option for a 4th year, which I do believe they'll get, my opinion. And the deal reportedly is worth around $555 million over those 3 years, at an average of, as we said before, $185 million per year. It starts lower. The middle year would probably be around that. The 3rd year would be up from that. 4th year would be way up if they get that far, and I believe that they will. Dynamite and Collision will remain on their respective homes of TBS and TNT. Those shows will also stream live on HBO Max, or Max, whatever you want to call it now, for U.S. subscribers starting in January of 2025. Later next year, AEW pay-per-views will be offered live on Max at a discounted price per event, and all marketing and promotions of the pay-per-views will be exclusively centered on Max. Yes, this is a big freaking deal. It's a big freaking deal. So, Damian responded. Damian's throwing, come on now. He says, we'll see. We haven't lost the Broncos in 5 years. I'm a diehard wrestling fan, caught up on all. Do you think we'll get no Bloodline versus new Bloodline match? I do, but I don't know what that looks like yet. The Rock, Roman, and Jimmy versus Solo, and a combination of the other 3 guys. How do you think the Bloodline storyline will end? I think, here's what I think. It started with Roman. It ends with Roman. I don't mean to be flippant with that answer, but that's how I believe, man. He started it. He should end it. I think if he takes it home, if he gets took home, he should be the one to take it home. Put it that way. Does that make sense? And I know maybe it's not a great answer, but it's just how I view it. And I believe that we're looking at WrestleMania next year. A lot of people believe it's going to be The Rock versus Cody. We'll see. I happen to believe we're going to get Roman versus Cody again. Do you take that belt off Cody? That's another conversation for another day, man. I love Cody. I think Cody's done some of the best work of his career with that title around his waist. I don't know why in the world you'd take it from him, but it's that company. They've done stranger things. No pun intended. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. But I agree with you. I do think it's going to be old Bloodline versus new Bloodline for sure. I do have Max, by the way. I have Max. We watch the Big Bang Theory reruns and Friends reruns, and I love Max. I love my streaming apps, and I pay too much, but I enjoy them. So I'll definitely be checking out AEW pay-per-views when they hit streaming service next year. By the way, a quick little, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more to all the critics out there who said this company would never last. Uh-oh. I happen to love what Jericho said when he said the experts, they made him very unhappy. Something to that effect. I'm just saying, look, you're free to like what you want. You want to hate this company? Hate them. I don't care. It doesn't affect my life in the slightest. I think it's weird, but whatever, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it's weird. Can we be honest? It's weird to hate WWE. You can if you want to. It's weird to me. It's okay to prefer one over the other. It's also okay to prefer none over the other. It's okay to watch everything you want. It's okay to subscribe to New Japan World and only watch Japanese wrestling. It's fine. It's okay to only watch WWE. That's fine too. It's also okay to only watch AEW or only watch TNA or only watch, House of Glory. It's okay to only watch Progress. It's okay to only watch GCW. Whatever makes you happy, whatever gets you through the night, it's all right. That's how I feel. It's okay. Do I think it's weird that someone would choose to watch only one company and act like no other company exists? Yeah, that's a little weird. But it's not my call, not my decision. But to everyone, again, as I said, to everyone who wished this company would fail and still wishes this company would fail, I got 3 numbers for you. 555. $555 million says you could be wrong. For all those people that said they're knocking on death's door, you could be wrong. For all those people on socials, I read it this morning about the Ospreay match against Ricochet. No one wants to see that wrestling. It's gymnastics. Oh, wow. It's gymnastics. That dude last week or 2 weeks ago pounding the table. Give me a story. Freaking calm down, man. You gotta have a coronary. Jeez. Check the pulse, man. Right? Oh my God. Relax. It's not real. And by the way, I don't think anyone wants to see that crap. Well, there's $555 million that says you're wrong. No one's going to hand Tony Khan money because he owns NFL franchise and a Premier League franchise. No one. Nobody. Not because of who he is or what he owns or who his daddy is. Nobody. If you think that's true, go ahead and think it, I guess. It's weird and you're wrong, but you can think it if you want to. No one gets handed $555 million because of what their last name is. Sorry. There's a belief in that product. There's confidence in that product and that company as a whole, or that deal would never have been signed. So you can hate that if you want to. Thumbs up for hate, I guess. I don't know. It's weird, but go ahead. I don't know. People are odd. People are very odd. I just don't get it. Jeffrey and Damien are going at it for football. This is great. It's got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but I'm here for it. Maria says this is WWE. They permanently take titles off of other guys all the time, except for Roman. Asked Braun Breaker. Yeah, well, I've talked a lot about titles here in the 10 years this show's been on the air. By the way, celebrating 10 years this year. In case you didn't know, now you know. And titles are, for lack of a better term, props to a large degree. Titles mean something to the promoter that runs the company, to the guy that wins it. And they mean something to us because they're promoted in that fashion. And we use words like deserve, and we use words like terms like shouldn't have lost or should have won. The success of the company is the underlying pushing narrative for most pro wrestling companies. The success of the company as a whole, not the talents. The success of the company as a whole. More on that in a minute. JP says, I watch all wrestling I can, and that is available to me. I never wish for AEW to fail, but I want them to improve some things. I agree, but I got thoughts. Hold on. Maria says, unfortunately, there's a lot of people who make a living on being negative. Oh, for sure. And got all kinds of engagement. And that's not me. I guess I won't get engagement because that's not who I am. And he says, not a fan of AEW, don't want it to close. I respect that. Robbie says, I agree. AEW still needs to work on making clear the babe. Well, listen, I got thoughts. Just hold on. Shane says, rumor is Miro is going back to WWE after getting released. It could be. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised if his wife shows up too. Damien says, who are your top male, or is she still married to him? Did I hear that? I can't remember. Who are your top male, female tag team performers in AEW, WWE? What's your thought on Braun Breaker? First of all, I hate the name. Not your name. You got a cool name. I think Braun Breaker is one of the worst names I've ever heard, next to Dolph Ziggler. Sorry. Hate it. Hate that. I've hated it from day one. Still hate it. Always hate it. Braun Breaker, horrible name. Hiding the fact that he's a Steiner. That's weird too. What are we doing? They They so badly want to own everything that they can't tell you who somebody is, right? Come on. Come on. Pillman's same way. And they all play ball. You want to know why? Because they're getting paid. How many times have you played ball where you work because you got paid? Maybe you weren't happy about it, but you got paid. Money's not everything, but it's a lot of thing. Okay? It's a big thing. I'm just saying. It's just my 2 cents, right? So, top male, female, and tag team performers in AEW. In AEW, I'll say female. I'm going to say Statlander. Off the top of my head, I'm going to say Statlander. I think Mercedes is very good. Mercedes is one of the best. But if I had to pick on people on the spot, I'd say it's Statlander right now. Male performer, hard to argue against Danielson. I would say Swerve. Swerve is fantastic. At this moment in time, I will say Ospreay. Tag team, it's tough because they don't push tag teams like they should. Hard to ever vote against FTR, right? But I love House of Black. I love Bullet Club Gold. I do. So that's kind of a non-answer. As far as WWE, hard to ever pull against Rhea Ripley. Hard to ever pull against her. I'd say Cody's up. Cody's got to be the guy, my opinion. And God, tag team's a tough one, man. I don't know if I got an answer for tag team. Marie says Eric Bischoff's had a bad day, I bet. Oh, dude, are you kidding? Yeah, dude, yeah. He'll spin it. If he hasn't already, he'll spin it. He'll find a way to still hate on him. It's mind-blowing, isn't it? It's mind-blowing. Spend all your time criticizing. I don't get it. Life's too short, baby. Life's way too short, man. You notice that Brienne completely disappeared when I called her Blackjack Milligan? I'm so upset. Shane said, did y'all see the interview Mercedes did about not getting along with Vince McMahon? And she said she bound herself. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. She was right to leave. Can we be honest? She was right to leave. I'm glad she left. Because the whole world opened up for her. I think a lot of people believe the girl known as Sasha Banks was always just going to be a WWE person. And they thought wrong. They were dead wrong. Right? Dead wrong. I mean, anything could happen. None of us really knew. By the way, I forgot that bad boy up in the corner. Look what I did. It's embarrassing. I forgot it. You guys listen to that. Oh, you don't know what just happened, do you? Ron came up with his name. Sure. All right. Whatever, man. But still, you can't. Come on. I just don't get it. And someone else said something. JP wants to say Braun Breaker made a name for himself. I guess. Sure. If I look, fine, whatever. All right. But still, like, I don't know. And I guess Dustin did it too with the Gold Dust thing. I guess I understand to a certain extent, but Braun Breaker still a god awful name. And look, you know, Nemeth was okay with the Dolph Ziggler name. Didn't mean I liked it. Just because Steiner's okay with the Braun Breaker name doesn't mean I like it. I'm just saying. That's me. But look, you have to also admit that's something that company does quite a bit. They encourage it. Well, Tom, things are different under Triple H. Are they, though? Are they really that different? So here's what I'm going to say about AEW. I've been teasing this for a bit. For the past couple of days, I've been trying to rectify some things. Not for you, for me. Not from my friends, not from my peers who write about it, not from my peers who podcast about it, not for the fans who watch right now and after the fact, not the listeners who listen now and after the fact. I've been trying to reconcile some things with AEW, but it's been hard. Daniel, thank you for your comments. It was his capitalized idea to break away from the Steiner name because God forbid someone try to make. All right, are you happy? You've been heard. Calm down. Everything's going to be fine. All right, relax. God forbid, he says, someone try to make it on their own merits. Okay. We won't talk about Charlotte Flair, but that's fine. That's fine, right? It's fine. I don't care. It's fine. Good Lord. I'm admitting everybody's right. Is everybody happy now? Or everybody that's getting, whatever they're getting kind of way about it? All right, look. Fernandez says Stone Cold started. Oh my God. Ringmaster, one of the worst names of all time. One of the worst names of all time. He was still Steve Austin, which of course is not his real name. But at least, hey. So, AEW ideology. I've been trying to not justify, but rectify some things for myself. And you guys know I've been having heartburn over the heel and babyface thing with Heyman, with Swerve, with a lot of other people. Not every week, but a lot of weeks I complain about it quite a bit. Because old school pro wrestling dictates you gotta hate somebody, you gotta boo somebody. You gotta cheer somebody and love somebody. That's how pro wrestling is supposed to work traditionally. But things have really come to light for me recently. The Ricochet Ospreay match, which by the way, I'm fine with. I'm not going to throw shade because I don't have any shade to throw. You don't know what you're going to get with Ricochet versus Ospreay on live TV. You don't know what you're going to get? Really? People throwing hate at that? You don't know about these two guys? Of course they gave what they gave. I thought it was a good match. I'm not going to hate on it. But I had a problem with it happening so fast. I said, why didn't we build to this? Why didn't we take time? Right? Because in that company, things happen very quickly. Yeah? All the time. And then, about a month ago or so, I complained about Max Caster calling himself the best wrestler in the world. In a locker room where Daniel Bryan is sitting and is routinely referred to as the best in the world. And refers to himself as that way as well. And Okada's in that locker room too, and is referred to as the best in the world. Yeah? And I'm like, why would Max Caster, a tag team guy, walk around? Why would they let him do that? And then also, I got one more. On this past Dynamite, Britt Baker comes out because they're in Pittsburgh. She comes through the crowd. Why? Why is she coming through the crowd? One guy should be coming through the crowd in AEW, and that is Jon Moxley. John and his group. Nobody else. Ever. For any reason, period. Want to know why? Because the more people that do it, the less special it becomes. Nobody should have the lights dimmed and then brought back up and they're standing in the ring like House of Black does. Want to know why? And they've done that a bunch, haven't they? Because when you do it more than once, it's not special anymore. Make sense? So here is what I'm going to give to you today. This didn't come from a website. This didn't come from a friend. This didn't come from a fellow podcaster or a fan or any company at all. This is all from me. Take it or leave it, okay? What you're looking at AEW is not a pro wrestling company. I know that sounds weird. Just bear with me. Hold on. It's not a pro wrestling company in the traditional sense of the word. We have been reminded multiple times that AEW is full of guys who were independent wrestlers 5 years ago and of men and women who used to work in WWE. Okay? In the traditional WWE, NWA, WCW, AWA, the traditional, world class, the traditional companies, the most important item is the company, the brand. It's the brand. Everyone on the card is working toward the company being the best it can be. Okay? Every company I've ever been a part of in the locker room, we've always existed for the company to be as good as it can possibly be and the best in the business. Period. That's not what AEW is. It's just not. AEW is a collection of independent wrestlers that wrestle under the brand AEW. And I don't use the word independent as a bad word. A lot of people do, and they suck. But I'm not that guy. To me, independent's not a bad word, right? But that to me is what AEW is. It's a brand. It's not a company. It's a company. It's a company. Don't get it twisted. Try to stay with me. It's not a pro wrestling company in the traditional sense of the word. It is a pro wrestling brand. The brand, the most important thing in AEW is All Elite Wrestling. It's the style. And that style is different for everyone in the locker room. It's super heavyweight. It's lucha. It's, back and forth, the flip stuff, which everybody and a lot of people hate. It's the technical wrestling as well. It's also a little bit of death match. It's some blood. It's some mayhem. And it's back around in the circle again. Now you look at that and you say, but Tom, that's what a pro wrestling show is. It's a variety show. Yeah, you're right. But this isn't about the company. And I have to, at some point, rectify that for myself, or I will drive myself mad, because weird stuff continues to happen on their shows that I can't get my head around. So this is how I'm rectifying it. I do not, from this point on, view AEW as a pro wrestling company in the traditional sense of the word. And maybe I never should have, and if I haven't, that's on me. I've been trying to hold it in my mind up next to other companies, and that's my mistake. That is my mistake. In that company, in that environment, I'll say, the most important thing is the AEW brand. Yes, it's a collection of independent wrestlers that work under a brand called AEW. I'm not saying they're not professional. I'm not saying they're not good at their jobs. But that's what I'm saying. When you sign with WWE, for example, you are a WWE superstar. It is about the company. In AEW, when you sign, it's, what do you want to do? Go ahead and do it. And guess who's right? Are they wrong for that? Now, you could argue, yes, because their ratings are not what they were. Yes, because they've lost viewers. The chaotic storylines, the way they start things, the way they hot shot book and never go back to it. There was 3 world title contenders at one time. Why? Number 1 contenders. Tag teams not being pushed like they were before. One-off title matches. 2 guys work, they never work again for the title. Champions who don't get their rematches. Stuff that, the heel and face dynamic is so screwed up, it's like the multiverse. You can't tell who's a hero and who's a villain anymore. But guess what? None of that matters, because they don't care about that stuff. They don't care. Doesn't mean they're irresponsible, and it doesn't mean they're failing. If you think they are, I got 3 numbers for you. $555 million. By the way, Daniel, you're dead wrong. Oh, sorry. I just popped my mic. You're dead wrong, Daniel. A vanity project for some rich kid doesn't get $555 million. You're dead wrong. And I never say that, because everyone's look, I'll put it back up. If that's your opinion, go with God, but you're wrong. You're right if they lose the TV deal. You're right if the TV deal they sign is worth half that much. Then you've got a point. You don't have a point right now. And I don't own stock in the company. I don't work for them. I got nothing to gain by telling you that. And if this deal goes 2 years and they get kicked off the network because of something crazy happening, you'll be right. Right now, you're not right. Sorry. Sorry. And by the way, the rich kid thing, this company started with the idea of we're here to make a profit. We're not here to play games. We're here to make a profit. I said 5 years ago on this mic and to my friends personally off mic that it's fun to watch this. It's exciting. Man, is it cool to have a new company. But if they don't turn a profit, they will not be in business long. And I held to that. And I never strayed from that notion, ever. No one makes it rain just because it's fun to spend money. Come on, Daniel. Nobody does that. The goal is to turn a profit. Well, they have. Want to know how I know? $555 million. That's how I know. That's how I know. Shane, thank you. Yes, I am. I'm comparing AEW to ECW in as much as it was a collection of wrestlers that were allowed to be themselves. However, Shane, let me say this. In that company, at least for Heyman, it was very much about that brand. about the company as a whole, right? But I think your comparison is spot on. Now, you could argue, you and everybody else here could argue that the storylines in ECW were better because they had the 3-act structure, right? You have two wrestlers with the conflict, you have the rising conflict, you have the confrontation, and you have the battles in between, and then you descend to the third act, or you build to the crescendo, to the third act, and then it's over. And the guy moves to the next opponent. The tag team moves to the next feud. You could argue that doesn't happen too much in AEW. And you're right, it doesn't. Why? I don't know. Because they don't view pro wrestling like myself and a lot of other people do. So, if you want to continue to be a fan of AEW, and more power to you if you do, and you fight every week about the heel and face thing, save yourself some time and energy, relax, take a breath. It's not that kind of company. I used to grieve so much over WWE. When I wrote full-time at my max 13 columns a week as a pro wrestling writer, analyst, I grieved over the stuff WWE did. I couldn't understand why they kept messing with the audience, right? Remember Triple H coming out, thumbing his nose at fans? And I'm like, you're as a face, not as a character, not as a character, as the guy in the ring, because he was venting or whatever he was doing. I'm like, it's paying customers you're talking about. I cannot believe. And then remember all the times that the crowd obviously wanted something and Vince said, nah. Remember? You should remember. It happened for like 30 years. And I don't mean difference of opinion. I don't mean your favorite lost. I mean Booker T versus Triple H. Booker T should have won that feud. Look, you can have your favorites. You can say whatever you want. But everyone knows he should have won that feud. And there's any number of other things that have happened in that company, but because the old guy said, nah, right? Man, I used to grieve over that stuff. It kept me awake. I'm not kidding. Kept me awake at night. I just don't get it. I'd be so angry. You know how people get about AEW now because they're weird? I get angry. I just don't understand what's going on. Why are they doing this? Are they doing it to me? Right? And then I realized this company doesn't care about me. They care about turning a profit. They care about the company as a whole. They've got a plan, and they're not going to deviate from that plan because I don't like it. And once I understood that, things changed. Now, you can't, I guess you can. I don't think you can say that AEW doesn't care. You want to know how I know? Because they have pivoted in the middle of a storyline because they heard the crowd. They've done it. They've put someone on TV the week after because people wanted. They did it. They gave it to you. Want to know why? Because for whatever anyone wants to say about Tony Khan, he listens. Does he always make the right decision? Of course not. Gato, one of the best bookers of all time, in my opinion, in New Japan, he doesn't always make the best decisions. Look at Evil. Look at Evil. I'm just saying. He didn't always make the best decisions, obviously. But more often than not, they listen. They monitor. They're hearing the crowd. They're hearing the crowd. Damien just won the show right here. I love your conversation. How often do I podcast? So much that I have look at that. See that hair? So much that I have headphone hair 24/7. That's how often I'm. You think I'm kidding? I got headphone hair 24/7. Damien's the man. You want to know why? Because Damien asked a good question. And Damien, hold on, wait. Hesitation. There's your link. Go click that link, Damien, if you will. Every podcast link I have to all three of my shows are on that platform. Damien's awesome. Everyone be more like Damien. Damien says when you sign with any company, you know what you're getting into. That's why it's mind-blowing when they complain. Yep. I disagree, Daniel. Sorry. You can have your opinion. It's okay. I'm not going to fight you on it. I can't change your mind. Why would I? You're set. You're set. You came onto my show and said that Tony Khan's a rich kid playing with his daddy's money. What can I do? It's pointless. Pointless. No, I can't debate. I don't debate when someone's already got. When someone comes to me with, Tom, I think, I'm like, cool. I think the other thing, let's talk about it. I can't debate someone who comes to me with what they perceive to be facts. With what they flat out perceive to be facts. And yeah, it's tough. I can't. I won't. That used to keep me up at night too. And I won't do it. I quit reading the comment section of my columns years ago. It was just, there's no point. You're free to think what you want to think. Oh, Daniel's getting upset. We got a hater. Blogs aren't columns. Uh-oh. Daniel's a hater. I got 10 years of experience that says you're wrong. And I've been paid by many websites in my time, but I'm paid now for my writing. But you're right. Daniel says I need to get over myself. Isn't that fun? You guys think I need to get over myself? I love it. What's up, Sarah? Sarah, I hope you're safe. I've heard from Tina, but I have not heard from you, by the way. Maria says you forgot 2 different factions claiming to have take over AEW is also an issue. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this Mox thing, dude. I have no idea. AEW is very good because of the talent and the quality matches, but not the 500 contenders for the world title and the who's who. Again, Ray, that's my point. I'm not going to look at this company anymore as a traditional pro wrestling company. That's on me. That's not on the company. They never told me they were a traditional pro wrestling company. They might be where WCW used to be and whatnot in terms of networks, but they're not. No, they're not a traditional pro wrestling company. And again, that's on me. That's no one else. Maria says wrestling has evolved, some of it for the better and some of it for the worst. I agree. And look, for anybody that thinks Maria's wrong, you know how many people back in the, I'll say the black and white days, believe the Irish whip had killed wrestling? It's true. I've said that before here on the show, that the Irish whip killed pro wrestling. You want to know why? You can figure it out, can't you? Because the Irish whip shows obvious coordination. It shows cooperation in a ring. I am intentionally running to the other side of the ring. Right? When in a real fight, of course. The only running you do is maybe to run away to get it so you wouldn't get punched in the face, right? But they said the Irish whip had killed wrestling, or would kill wrestling. Robbie says, Tom, you have given us real education. I don't know about all that. I'm just giving you my opinion. Anyone, if you're inclined to disagree with me and think that I'm full of crap, you can. Daniel does. So, you see it kind of differently. You see so many times a wrestler going back and forth from heel to babyface. Maybe Dave wants us to root or boo for the wrestler, not the healer. But I guess, yeah. I can kind of see, oh, Daniel's getting rough. Look here. Daniel says, Daniel, you're fun, bro. This is awesome. You keep coming at people with that condescending tone, and one of these days, someone's going to slap it out of your mouth. Uh-oh, Daniel. Daniel getting mad. Daniel getting salty. That's awesome. You kidding me? It's the best day ever. It's the best day ever. Fernando says, when a company like WWE has been number one, you can give your customers the finger now and then. But that doesn't mean you should. By the way, I don't like that opinion at all. Your customers are who put you there. Without your customers, you don't have a company. Right? I mean, come on now. JP says Damien is awesome with the Raiders. I see you still trying to pick a fight with Damien, dude. Come on now. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, I'm a content specialist. It's for a digital marketing agency in Pittsburgh. It's just a contract gig. So I'm still on the lookout for something full-time, but I'm enjoying it so far, man. Plus the owner is a pro wrestling fan and she's been in the business herself, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Danny says, still sucks that Vince cost Damian Priest. Missed out on the role name in Black Panther 2. I can't make out what you're saying there. Damien says, match between you and Daniel. Nah, I'm not good. I'm good. I'm too old for that crap. That's not going to work for me, brother. Where's Jay when you need him? Jay should be here. Chad Too Bad says, I know you don't watch Impact. I don't not watching because I don't like it. I just hardly ever catch it if I'm being honest. But they had little boo boo 2 weeks ago. They had a match. Loser can't continue. It was Santana versus former Fandango. Clint Gilberti is still there. Or not. I'm thinking of a Disco Inferno. Oh God, no disrespect to Fandango. Oh, I hope that guy doesn't punch me for that. Santana dropped off the stage and Fandango. The ref counted 1, 2, 3, and right after that realized he made a mistake and the match continued. Announcers were silent. And isn't it recorded? Why couldn't they fix that in post? It wasn't live, was it? If it's recorded, they should just fix it in post. Well, Daniel, guess what? You curse on my show, you're gone. Sorry, Daniel. Out of here. I'm not gonna take you can say whatever you want, but I'm not gonna have name calling. I broadcast to wrestling rumors here on Facebook, and I'm not doing that. I don't use language, and no one in the chat's gonna do it either, or you'll be shown the door as well. Okay. I was having fun with Daniel, and that sucks because I was having a blast. And he had to go get weird about it. Right? I've disagreed with plenty of people in my time and kept it civil. But that little fella just couldn't do it, could he? Ah, shucks. What are you going to do? Jeff Peters says upset customers will eventually go away and you will not have a company anymore. Again, yeah. There you go. Somehow he got out of there, and so I had to ban him again. Where'd you go? There you go, Shane. Oh, it was live. Thank you, Chad. Shane says, for me, Vince McMahon killed the wrestling I love. Well, I'll tell you what. You don't come back from the owner of a company that big going on live TV and saying that it's all entertainment. You're right. Once that happened, you never go back after that. It's impossible. You can't put the tube back in the toothpaste, or can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? I'll get it. You just can't. Not possible. Can't go back again. And then when you say that it's not real, in other words, it's all coordinated, it's choreographed ahead of time, or it's choreographed as you move. Once you say that, you take the focus off, actually winning and losing matches. You put the focus on athleticism. And people wonder why that there's flips and stuff. Because you can no longer convince an audience full of people that this guy's actually, I shouldn't say you can't. I'll say it's really, really hard to do it now. You know what I mean? And it's great when you get an audience of thousands to be able to suspend their disbelief, but it's not always possible because people are clued in. They know what's going on. Oh, it was taped, Chad said. Well, there you go, Chad. Chad, too bad. Come on, Chad. Don't let me down. Said it was taped. Well, you think they should have fixed it in post? Fernando says, I'm not saying WWE should give their customers, but it feels like they have. Oh, I get it. Hey, man, you and I are good. Yeah, we're good. I get you. Yeah, of course that's their mentality because Vince did what Vince wanted and you couldn't tell him anything else. Makes me wonder how many times someone in AEW has said, Tony's like, I got to be fine. Hey, look, I'm not comparing the two guys. They're night and day. I'm just giving my 2 cents worth. Reese says, complain that wrestling is not real is the oldest trick in the book. Yeah, well, they put up with it then. All right, kids, we've gone an hour. Let's open that floor up before we get out of here and enjoy our weekend. All right. How are you still here? Daniel, go away, Daniel. Go away, okay? For real. Enough's enough. I've had enough of that. Mind your manners. If you can't be a man, go away. Stop commenting. Sorry, I'm taking steps to yeah. He's only on YouTube so he can make crappy comments toward people. That's a shame. People should really get a life, man. Shouldn't they? Ray All Day says, Nas or Big Pun. And part 2, I'll say Nas. I was never a big pun guy. Part 2, Biggie or Lil Jon? Ooh. I'll say Lil Jon. Oh, that's tough. And if Adam Cole invited you to either the NBA or NFL Hall of Fame, which one would you pick? I'll say NBA. If say you could bring a friend, could I please come? Yes. Later wanted to get dinner, which included roasted chicken, garden salad, and a nice cold lemonade and tasty cookie. Can I join as well? Sure. Ray says you're going to watch Joker 2. No, I am not. I just don't care for it. I said this last night to somebody else. I said, I didn't care for the first Joker movie. I don't care about the second one. I don't know. I feel like, and look, don't get me wrong. This is not a real movie. It's a real movie, but it's not real people. They're all characters that have been created for years in the comic books, and it's a comic book movie, and I get that. And none of this is actually happening. But when I read that people are like rooting for the Joker and think he has a point, and then people, well, Thanos was right. No, he wasn't. Thanos was a genocidal maniac. What are we talking about? Joker's a homicidal maniac. What are we talking about? He's a killer. No, he's not right. Isn't that weird? That kind of stuff's weird to me. A lot of stuff's hitting me very weird today, right? It's one of those days. Chad says I'm enjoying the new gig with Jack Perry where he cruises in. What about that truck? Would you drive that truck around town? That's something, isn't it? Hey, man, it's become his calling card at this point. Ray says, what are your thoughts on the Vince McMahon documentary? I got news for you. Believe it or not, I have not dove in. Me and Phil talked about this the other night. Shout out to Phil Lindsay, by the way. Me and Phil talked about this the other night. I just don't. A lot of it I know already, yeah, but I don't know. And I know his people tried to get this thing stopped from airing, right? But I just don't know if I care about it, to be honest with you. The least I can see of that guy, the better I am. To be honest with you. Jeff says, yeah, I agree. I will not see the Joker 2 movie either because it looks worse than the first one. And look, a lot of people love the first one. It made some money. It must have, or they wouldn't have made a part 2, yeah? Danny, talking about John. By the way, if I know I shared this at Christmas, go look up Lil Jon's Christmas music. It's freaking awesome. Rob says, if you could attend any main event match with wrestlers alive or dead, what main event would you want to see? I'd go to Greensboro Coliseum and watch Rick versus Dusty. That'd be me. That would be me. Yes, he is according to Fightful. Who is what, Maria? Chad says, I've heard Adam Cole's getting close to return. Boy, let me tell you, that must have been a horrendous injury. Horrendous injury. Since this long. It's been over a year. Think about that. Jeffrey says, should be the scapegoat party bus. Oh, well, you know what? It could, because heel and face doesn't matter in that company. See, I am maturing as an AEW fan. Heel and face doesn't matter in that company. There you go. Sugar Shane says, recommend if you like Westerns, go watch any Randolph Scott Western. Hey, look, I watch plenty of stuff with cursing. I curse myself. I'm just not going to allow it here on the show. Again, I'm not just here on my channel. I'm here on someone else's channel as well. I'm trying to be respectful. I love Westerns, by the way, Shane. Love Westerns. Any Jimmy Stewart Western, I'm here for it. For sure. And now I won't be able to think of any. The one where he's the father during the Civil War and his sons are getting killed and he ends up having to take up the rifle to go get revenge, I think. Great movie. I can't remember the name of that movie. Rio Bravo is a great movie too. Great movie. I love Westerns, man. Tombstone's my favorite. Tombstone's in my top 5 best movies of all time. Fernando says, where do you see Ricky Starks, Britt Baker, and Miro working next year? I think Ricky wants to go to WWE. Thank you, Shane at Shenandoah. Well done. Ricky Stark, I believe Ricky wants to go to AEW, and I'm WWE, and I don't have any proof to back that up, but that's kind of what I've always felt. Britt Baker, in my opinion, is not going anywhere, but that's me talking. Unless something happens, and something could happen. Did you find it funny that Chant came out to watch her match? Interesting, right? Interesting. Miro, I think Miro will be back as Rusev in WWE. Kids, we're coming up on an hour and some change, hour and 15 here. And we still got several folks here. So if anyone else has anything you want to throw my way, by all means, throw it my way. I'm going to get a sip, though. Do you mind? By the way, if we have any Ted Lasso fans in the house, if we do, check this out.
Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast, reviews all episodes of the Apple TV series with opinions from both sides of the Atlantic, featuring Tom Clark in the US and Jay Luft and Joe Higgins in the UK. Join them as they dive into all 3 seasons of Ted Lasso, with both video and audio versions available on boinkstudios.com.
New episode coming out tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. Check out boinkstudios.com. It will be out on our YouTube as well. 10 a.m. Eastern. It hits. And you don't want to miss it. Can I be transparent with you guys? We just did episode 11 on Monday. We've got one more left for season 3, and then we do the series wrap up. We're going to call it the series wrap up because I know they're in talks of doing a season 4, but we don't know if season 4 is even going to be called Ted Lasso. I mean, I think Joe and Jay and I are all 3 in the agreement that this should be called the Richmond Way. And that Ted pops up on FaceTime and pops up on the first episode and last episode, and that'll be all we see of him. And that it'll be about the club moving on without him. We also talked about, wouldn't it be cool if we could see, maybe Roy and Jamie on a team in Brazil or something, or maybe go with Sam to Nigeria where he actually gets to play. I don't know. We'll see. But that show may or may not be called Ted Lasso. So we're going to treat episode 12 as the final episode with the caveat, with the asterisk in mind, or attached, that we're going to definitely hit a season 4, whatever that looks like. Chad says, I seen somewhere that Phoenix had time added and won't be going to. I have heard that as well. I will believe it when I see it. Here's why. Jeffrey, I know. Yeah, they've renewed. Yeah. But we still don't know if it's even going to be called Ted Lasso. From what I understand, Jason Sudeikis hasn't even said if he wants to come back. The story has to be right. And of any TV show I've watched in the past 20 years where they got the story right, it was Ted Lasso, 100%. Maybe we'll be called Ted Lasso season 4. If that it, if that's true, we'll still refer to the pod as the Two Nations Under Ted Lasso podcast. Chad, in response to your question, I'll put it back up. I believe it when I see it. I hope cooler heads prevail. Now, it's not Phoenix's fault that he got hurt and couldn't work those months, but it's also not Tony's fault. And anytime WWE has done this, it's made them look a certain kind of way. And in my opinion, if you're AEW, you don't want that. And it's not because, again, they got their money, they got their TV deal. It's not because of that. It's because you want to build and keep as much goodwill with folks as you possibly can. And I don't think you can do that by adding time to contracts, because I just don't think it looks good. How Vince McMahon be remembered in 15 years? In my opinion, Maria, I think that the way he went out will overshadow what he did with that company. That's how I feel. Robbie says, your thoughts on the Netflix McMahon docuseries. Oh, we just talked about that. I have not watched it yet. I'm back and forth on whether or not I want to watch it. I don't know. Well, kids, this has been an eventful episode. Yeah. Hadn't this one been fun? Oh, I'm just saying. It's been a blast. Look, I hope everybody has enjoyed the show today. I would please ask once again that you check us out on boinkstudios.com, BOINK, boinkstudios.com. You will find links to Tom Clark's main event, Tom Clark's 6M podcast, and Two Nations Under Ted, a Ted Lasso podcast. I have not included the link on there to the Substack podcast, but if you just go to our YouTube channel, you'll see it. Tom Clark's Substack podcast. 4 shows equals no sleep equals headphone hair. I'm just saying, but that's who I am. Yeah. Again, thanks to everybody for watching and supporting the show. Thanks to everybody, again, who checked in on us last week. I very much appreciate it. We're doing well. And I hope everybody out there has been affected by the hurricane, do me a favor, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, try to stay positive, even though people try to bring you down and life seems like it's stuck in the crapper on a lot of days. Try to keep yourself at a good vibe, man. I know it's difficult. Trust me. I know if anybody knows, I know. But try to keep your head above water. And I don't mean that to sound a certain kind of way. But again, positive vibes, kids. I appreciate everybody watching now and listening after the fact. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate all the good words I get. And I appreciate constructive criticism. That's the only kind of criticism I'm going to hear. So again, thanks to everybody for giving me your time and attention. Do me a favor, have a great weekend this weekend. Everybody be safe out there. And barring anything big happening, we should be back here same time next Friday. Don't miss us, kids. Remember to follow us on boinkstudios.com, BOINK, boinkstudios.com. Bookmark the website. Follow all the podcasts today. I would very much appreciate it. Thanks again, kids. We'll see you next time.